Hi, welcome back. If you're new here, this is the listening place, a space made for you where you actually get to be heard. Today, I'm answering some questions and scenarios from our anonymous Google form. And I want to say before we get started, there's no judgment here. If something I say today hits close to home, it's not a coincidence. You're not alone in what you're carrying. Hello, brave friend, and welcome to the listening place. Before we get started, I would like to introduce you to the star of our show and my co-host. This is Miss Zelda Fitzgerald. She is my incredibly adorable but very sleepy Cavapoo. She is my emotional support animal. She brings me so much joy, and I hope that she brings a smile to your face while you are visiting us here today. When I started the listening place, I made sure to make it as real as possible for teens like you to submit questions that I could answer to help you and many others. What we are talking about today came from anonymous viewers so that there would be no nervousness or embarrassment in submitting a question in the hopes for honest questions and scenarios. Over the last few weeks, I received some really deep questions and situations, and I'm going to address those today. Before we get started, I would like to thank the people who contributed to this episode and asked their questions. I really appreciate the fact that you trust me enough to ask them. The questions range from family drama to motivation in school, to mental health, to hard friendships, and finally, how to handle the end of a romantic relationship that's gone bad. I will be answering these questions in the most honest way possible for you. I will not include any personal details so as to protect the person who's asking the question, but also the situations addressed are rephrased and answered in a way that cannot be only applicable to you, the person who submitted the question, but for others who may see themselves in the scenarios or struggling with similar issues. As an FYI, our show will be segmented today so that each question receives the space it deserves. My first question was, what are good ways to deal with stress, like from family drama or other things? So I'll say that if you are dealing with family drama on top of everything else, school, friendships, deadlines, becoming the best version of yourself, you are carrying a lot. The fact that you are seeking advice says so much about you. And that is that your strength and your desire to maintain your own mental health, despite the external circumstances of your family, shows you to be very brave. The first thing that I would like to suggest is to create a small little pocket of peace for yourself every day. It doesn't have to be big. It can be 10 minutes with your headphones in, going for a quick walk around the neighborhood by yourself, journaling, sitting outside, breathing in fresh air, listening to the birds, watching a squirrel skitter across a tree branch. It doesn't matter what it is, just as long as it's something that brings you peace and belongs only to you. You need a place to exhale and a place where the drama cannot follow you. Protect this time that you make for yourself as a time of peace and solitude while you shut up the rest of the world and really intentionally focus only on yourself. Secondly, something to know, which you likely understand, is that family drama has a very easy way of pulling you in. Someone wants you to pick a side, or they vent to you, or they purposely get you riled up. The best thing for you to do is not participate. And I want you to know that you can love people and still say, I'm not getting in the middle of this. It's not cold for you to do that. It's self-preservation and protection. Third, I would very much encourage you to talk to someone that you trust, not to gossip or to add fuel, just to get it off your chest. A trusted friend, a counselor, even writing it down in your journal or on a piece of paper and then throwing it away is just like talking to someone. Stress gets so much heavier the stronger you carry it. Trust me. And finally, separate what you can control from what you can't. You can't fix other people. You can't make your family stop being messy or dramatic, but you can control how much energy you give it and how you take care of yourself in the middle of that. That's where your power lives. You're not alone in this. Trust me. A lot of people watching this right now are nodding their heads, and a lot of people are realizing that they are allowed to do these things for themselves, just like you do. The next question I received is in regard to motivation. The question was, where do I get the motivation everyone else seems to have? My grades have slipped, and I can't get myself to care. Okay, can I just be honest for a second? The way you worded this, motivation everyone else seems to have, I need you to hear this. Most people aren't actually as motivated as it seems. Some people have a way of looking like they have it all together, when really they don't. But let's talk about what actually is happening, because I don't think that it's laziness. I think that when we stop caring about things that we used to care about, it's a sign that something is happening underneath. So like burnout, anxiety, feeling like nothing you do matters, sometimes even depression. So before you beat yourself up, you really need to ask yourself gently, is something heavier going on that I need to handle? Because motivation doesn't come first. Action does. And I know that sounds totally backwards, but it's true. You can't wait until you feel like doing something. You do something small first, and the feeling then follows. Start super small, like maybe one assignment or one page, 5 minutes. Not because it'll fix everything overnight, but because it will build a small bit of momentum. Sometimes motivation comes from doing one small thing, and then another, and then another. Really try viewing it in these small incremental ways so that you don't get overwhelmed. You'll gain traction and will help you to keep going. Also, find your own reason, not your parents' reason, not your teacher's reason, not your counselor's reason, not what you think you're supposed to do, but what do you actually want your life to look like in your own future? Sometimes when grades feel pointless, it isn't because we're lost. It's because we don't know what we actually care about. Finding even a small piece of that thread, it can change everything. If your grades have been slipping for a while, please talk to a counselor or a person you trust at your school. Not to get in trouble, but because you deserve support, not just a grade on a paper. There are a lot of resources available to you that can help. There's nothing wrong with you. You're human. Action and motivation go hand in hand. Even again, if the action is small, the momentum will pick up. Our next question is, what is one negative thought you think is the most detrimental to teens' mental health and happiness? So it's funny that I received this question as one of my first ones, because one of the biggest things that I personally had to stop doing to help gain stronger, healthier mental health for me was to address this question directly. So my brain immediately goes to all of the little things that I would say to myself, or that we say to ourselves that we would never say out loud to another person. Like, imagine if you walked up to your friend and you just went, "Hey, you're ugly and kind of stupid. And honestly, nobody really likes you." You would never do that. That would be absolutely horrific. But that is basically what a lot of us do to ourselves on a Tuesday morning before school. The most damaging thought, in my opinion, is the one that tells you that you are not enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, not lovable enough, just not enough. Because when you believe that about yourself, it colors everything. How you let people treat you, what you think you deserve, whether you even bother trying. And here's what I want you to hold on to. What I want you to know is that all of those thoughts of not being enough, They're all lies. Every single one of them. You are enough. Every single moment of every single day. The one thing that I would like for you to try and do is take the negative out of the things that you say to yourself. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I am good enough, even if you don't believe it. Here's the thing about the human brain. It literally believes anything you tell it, even lies, like that you are not enough, when you most certainly are. You can look at yourself and say, you are good enough, even if you don't feel that way. Your brain will start to accept that is true if you continually repeat yourself and tell yourself that. It's okay to lie to your brain if you are helping yourself, not hurting yourself. The next two things we will discuss are more scenarios than questions that were sent in to me. Instead of sharing the actual situation for the sake of protecting the person who submitted the scenario, I've taken each scenario given to me and constructed a question based off of it in the hopes that I can help you, the submitter, as well as other people who may watch this in the future. So again, our next question is based off of a scenario. I've shortened it into a question and won't mention any details to protect identities. The question is, how do you tell someone you don't want to be friends anymore when they have no one else? So first off, to me, the fact that you feel bad about this tells me that you are a genuinely kind and good person. You don't want to be cruel. You just want to be honest. And you're scared of hurting someone, and that matters. But I want you to also hear this very clearly. You are not responsible for someone else's source of connection. If that friendship is costing you your peace, that is not a selfish thing to say. It's the truth. Staying in a friendship out of guilt, just like in a romantic relationship, is not care. It is not love. Guilt doesn't actually help, but hurts both of you. And it just means you're both stuck. So how do you actually do it? End the friendship due to what you've been experiencing. Be honest, but be kind. You don't have to list everything that she's done wrong. You can simply say something like, I care about you, but I think we want different things from our friendship, and I need to step back. Period. You don't owe her a full explanation, and you don't owe a debate about it either. Do it privately, calmly, and directly. Not over text if you can help it. That tends to make things explode because it really feels disingenuous and disrespectful. In person or a phone call, somewhere she's not going to feel publicly embarrassed, would likely be the best place to talk to her about this. Be ready that she may not take it well. She will likely get angry. She might cry. She might say something to guilt you. She may say things that genuinely hurt your feelings. That doesn't mean you did something wrong. You can hold your own boundaries with compassion. You could say, I understand you're upset, and I'm sorry this hurts, but this is what I need. And after, give yourself grace. Ending a friendship is so hard, even when it's the right thing. It's okay to feel sad about it and still know that it is the right call. You deserve friendships that feel good, not just ones that feel like obligation. If you were in a romantic relationship similar to this one, trust me when I say that everyone in your life would be telling you to run very quickly away from the relationship. Sometimes we struggle with ending friendships because we think friendship is always forever. And the reality is, sometimes it's just not. Our final question has to do with heartache, self-blame, healing, and trust. This too was sent in as a scenario, but I made it a question because it's something that I feel a lot of people your age experience and are not really sure how to handle this type of situation. The question was, how do I stop blaming myself after being cheated on? learn to trust again, stop defending people who hurt me, and finally accept what really happened so I can move on. I want to take a breath before I answer this one because whoever sent this in is carrying so much right now. The cheating, the self-blame, the anger, the grief, the missing someone who hurt you. All of this is happening at the same time. It's exhausting. And I want you to know what you're feeling right now makes complete sense. When someone lies to you or cheats on you, your brain desperately wants to try to figure out what you did wrong. Because if it's your fault, that means that you had control. Control always feels safer than the truth, which is that someone chose to hurt you. But hear me, that was their choice. To lie is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their character. The blame belongs to them. Full stop. Understanding someone else's actions, that they belong to them, gives you permission to stop the self-blaming of how the relationship ended. Learning to trust again is hard and takes time, and I won't pretend otherwise. But here's what I want you to know. You don't have to trust everyone all at once. You rebuild it slowly with people who earn it. Pay attention to how people's actions match their words over time. Trust isn't something that you should give away any more upfront. It's something that someone should work for. That's not cynicism, it's not negativity. It's wisdom. When we love someone, we want to defend them. We build this wonderful version of them in our hearts and in our minds. And when they hurt us, we have to defend that version, the one that we built, the one that we believe in. We ask ourselves, how can this person that we love so much be the one to hurt us the most? It makes us feel heartbroken and weak. It's not weakness. It's love doing its best to survive. But at this point, you have to let yourself see the whole picture, not just the parts you want to be true. Sometimes when we see that, it helps to lift the veil so that we can see a bit clearer and understand that, yes, this was someone that we loved. And yes, we built up this version of who they are in our hearts to love. But the reality sometimes, the person that you have formed is not actually the person who they are or what they're capable of and who you thought they were. Our brains really protect us from all the hard stuff that we experience over time. We typically, in relationships, only want to remember the good parts. Our brains immediately go back to them because that's the time that we were happy, the time that we desperately want to get back. When you catch yourself missing them, try to practice what I call the full story. Remind yourself of a specific moment that they hurt you. Not to be bitter, but to stay honest with yourself about the whole relationship and how it actually was. Yes, your brain wants to remember the amazing, beautiful, and lovely parts, but you also have to let your brain remember the not so good parts, the tears, the heartaches, the bad things that sometimes we ignore. Feeling angry and sad all at the same time after a breakup is, to be completely honest with you, what grief is. You are allowed to be furious and still miss that person. Both of those feelings are true, and they coexist with one another. Let yourself feel both without judging yourself for either of them. Allow yourself to get those emotions out. Write them down. Talk to a trusted person. Record yourself in a voice memo on your phone. Listen back to it. These are all ways that you can process your anger and your sadness, but also to encourage you to move on. Moving on doesn't mean you forget about any of the situation or the person, or that it didn't matter, or that you're over it. It just means you stop letting it be the main part of your current story. That happens gradually, not all at once. Be patient with yourself. You're not too much. You are not the problem, and you will get through this. Believe me when I say that this was a learning experience. To gain wisdom, one must experience a lesson in life and then apply it to your life now and into your future. Before I go, I want to say something directly to the people who sent a question or a scenario in for today's episode. And to anyone watching who recognized themselves in one of them. You're brave enough to say the thing out loud, even anonymously. That matters. This space exists because of you and for you, and I never take that lightly. I really love doing this episode. These questions reminded me of why I started this channel in the first place, because there are so many of you out there going through really hard things quietly, and you deserve a space where someone actually talks to you like a real person. I hope something today helped even a little. The anonymous forum is always open to you. The link is in the description. No names, no judgment, just a place to be heard. If any of this resonated with you today, please consider subscribing and liking this video if it helped. And share it with someone who might need it today. Tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're working on letting go of? Thank you for visiting us at the listening place. Remember who you are, remember what you stand for, and return with honor. All right, say bye, Zelly Bellies. Oh, she's so sleepy.